I'm terrified of a nuclear Iran. Why aren't you? What do you know that me and millions of others don't know?
Are you terrified of a nuclear Pakistan, a nuclear India? Why not?
Because I think they're less hateful of everything that's West. I know there's a lot of... India is very westernized, and Pakistan is becoming more westernized. Iran wants to wipe the West out. It wants to get rid of Israel, and they hate everything about America.
I think that what you just recited, you just recited was the propaganda. I think that what you just recited was the propaganda that you have been spoon-fed by the Saudis.
India isn't pro-Western.
Saudi Arabia is the font of all evil, and let me explain how the record supports my point of view.
That's starting with you changed a little bit. You asked me about Pakistan and India, and I told you what I think.
I'll get to Iran, believe me. You say Iran's the gravest threat. I am telling you what the gravest threat is. I was in Africa in 1998, the embassy bombings. I covered the USS Cole, and then you have 9/11. Who were the attackers on 9/11? 15 of them were Saudis, all Sunni.
That's great. Let's get some to come from Saudi Arabia and other places, importing their Wahhabi brand of Islam so that we can go beat the Soviet Union.
Who
Sunnis at the Cole.
Who funded them?
Sunnis at the embassy.
They were Saudi nationals, but who funded them?
Let me finish.
Just tell me where the money came from.
Sunnis, all from Saudi Arabia.
Follow the money,
Saudi Arabia, which funds the Madrasa. You want me to tell you what I'm about to say?
Please.
Sunni extremists. The Muslim world is divided into two. Sunni, Shiite. Saudi, Iran. Sunni, Shiite. Who are the Sunnis? Al-Shabaab, Al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Boko Haram. Who are they? They are all Sunni extremists that have nothing to do with Iran.
Geraldo?
To be fair, we had helped to create the problem we're now fighting. How? Because when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, we had this brilliant idea that we were going to come to Pakistan and create a force of mujahideen, equip them with Stinger missiles and everything else to go after the Soviets inside Afghanistan. And we were successful.
Funded by the Saudis.
If you follow the trail, you follow the trail right back to Iran.
If you're going to give me this absolute baloney about who's funding the Sunni, that the Shiites are somehow funding the Sunni extremists.
I'm saying that the Iranians are funding Hezbollah, they're funding Hamas, they're funding certain sects of Al-Qaeda. They're funding a lot of the people who are
the Iranians are funding Al-Qaeda. That's not true. Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, Al-Nusra, Boko Haram.
You're telling me different sects. You're not telling me where the money's coming from.
These aren't different sects. These are all Sunni Muslim extremists funded by elements of the Saudi royal family.
So you're saying
the House of Saud, the royal family, was corrupt and corruptible.
Saying the Saudis are a bigger threat to Western culture, Western civilization, America, and our allies than the Iranians.
Not only do I say that, but I say that the Saudis have bought off so much of America's intelligentsia and political punditry that they have totally conned the world.
Saudis are one of our allies, Geraldo. If we ask them, they went to war to eliminate Saddam Hussein.
Now, probably a lot of you know that Saddam has been our boy for a very, very long time. And so we decided that Qasem had to go. The CIA sent an assassination team. It was headed by a man who was still going through high school, an Iraqi citizen who was still going through high school. They riddled Qasem's car with bullets on the streets of Baghdad and missed him. The head of this assassination team was wounded and fled to Syria. His name was Saddam Hussein. He was a CIA agent in those days, an assassin for us. He failed. He was our boy. He was our man. And so, and we sold him a lot and gave him a lot of tanks. We built him, Bechtel built him big chemical, I don't know, my father-in-law was chief architect at Bechtel, built Saddam big chemical plants that were used, and we knew that they were used to make mustard gas and other chemical weapons that were being employed against the Kurds and later the Iranians. We knew this.
I want them to release the 9/11 report that is still classified that talks of the Saudi and the Saudi royal family involvement in 9/11. Sunni extremists, Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden himself, a Saudi. Where is it that Iran is suddenly the existential threat to America? Iran and the Shiites have nothing to do
because they've never
with
not
the
been
people
an
who've been
existential threat. They've been
Americans,
the threat.
who've been
financed
burning
terrorism
people.
around the world, Geraldo. You know, every single mass terror group is if you follow the money trail, it always ends up in Iraq.
That is
Tehran is always behind it.
That is a preposterous.
Death to, who said death to America?
They all say death to America.
Who says death to America when they're trying to
negotiate
negotiate
in Saudi Arabia, they say it in Bahrain, they say it in Libya,
is it a good
in
idea,
Morocco. You say it here, there, and everywhere.
Is it a good idea to let the Iranians get a bomb?
No. Because I don't.
Why not?
I am opposed to nuclear proliferation, period. Nuclear proliferation just makes the world more dangerous. But for us to sit here and say Iran is this threat, Shiite Iran is the gravest threat.
Iranians have said, wipe Israel off the map. Have they not?
Have said it.
No, I haven't heard Saudis say that.
Saudi Arabia invaded Israel. Saudi Arabia invaded Israel.
I haven't heard Egypt say that.
Saudi Arabia, all these countries invaded Israel. Actually, Iran never did. Iraq heaved the missiles at Israel. It wasn't Iran. Well, please.
Israel bombed Iran for a reason.
We must remember, ladies and gentlemen, I'll speak directly to you. Al-Shabaab, Al-Nusra, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, Sunni extremists have nothing to do with Iran.
Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas.
Hamas is Sunni. Hamas is Sunni.
You're defining them for that reason. I'm defining
it is all about Sunni Shiite.
No, it's all about where the money comes from, Geraldo. If they don't have a money trail, they can't.
Eric,
you're an oil
trader. You're an oil trader.
Give me this.
You've been holding hands with the Saudis for decades.
Oh, that's it. I have some deal with the Saudis.
Not you personally. All of your class.
We have to remember that Middle Eastern oil is the oil that's used by a great deal of Europe, China, and Japan. If we control Middle Eastern oil, we control our biggest potential competitors, Japan, China, Europe.